So I was 16 years old and I'm sitting in my living room with my mother, my father, and the executive director of a wilderness canoe camp from Canada. And my parents had been pressuring me to go up to this canoe camp for the summer because basically 3 months before I drank half a bottle of Southern Comfort and passed out in the snow while sledding. And my mother was horrified and my father was livid, and they didn't know how to handle me over the summer. So I was under a lot of pressure to go, and I sat listening to this executive director, and I really didn't want to go. But after his presentation, my father said to me, "Jim, do you have any questions?" And my question was, how's the food at this camp? And how much food is there? And the gentleman said, when you're in camp, it's all you can eat and it's delicious. Technically, he was right. When you were in camp, it was delicious. But for 3 weeks out of this month, we weren't in camp. We were in a canoe traveling 250 miles across all these lakes in Canada. And the food was rationed. The food each morning was cream of wheat, mush in the morning, every morning for breakfast. In the afternoon, it was peanut butter and jelly on bannock. And if you don't know what bannock is, it's basically what you get when you mix together white flour and concrete mix, right? And so that was our lunch. And at night was some kind of gruel that was basically somewhere below Dinty-Moore stew and right above cat food. And that's what we ate every night. And it was rationed because for these 3 weeks, we had to carry them in these things called a wanigan. A wanigan is a giant, think of it like a giant cooler made out of wood, and it's huge, and it has a strap on it. And there was one for each canoe. So there were 8 kids on the trip, so there were 4 wanigans. And how you carried the wanigan is you had to put it on a rock, and then you bent down, so you lifted it with your legs, put the strap over your head, and then lifted. And we quickly realized the Indian word wanigan was basically the Indian word for son of a bitch. And it was so damn heavy. So we're eating this rationed food and we're hungry, starting on day 2. We're just famished. And my canoe mate and I, Eric starts telling me, my mother makes the greatest short ribs. She slow cooks them all day with this barbecue sauce, serves them with coleslaw, and he's describing it. I can smell the barbecue sauce in the canoe in the lake. And I'm like, well, my mother makes this macaroni and cheese with 3 different types of cheese. And when you pick it up, it's so gooey and tasty. And we're in the canoe, we're just famished. And then we play a game. If I was in line at Wendy's, I would get a Frosty. I'd get a double bacon cheeseburger. What would you get in line if you were at Burger King? A Whopper. No, a double Whopper with cheese. And we were just playing this game because we were so famished. Every day we were playing this game. And then finally, after a couple days, we're out there and we're totally famished, talking about food. And it starts pouring rain. And we are in a lake that you can barely see in the land in the distance. It's huge. And it just starts pouring buckets of rain. And we all instinctively reach to the bottom of the duffel to grab our raincoats. And then we realize it doesn't fucking matter, because we're not going to church. We don't have to look good tonight. There's no girls we're going to see out here. And so we just realize these ponchos don't matter. We don't need them. And I end up wearing the same jeans for 3 weeks straight, losing 25 pounds. But we get, at the end of the 3 weeks, we get picked up in a bus with a big trailer where we put all the canoes. And I'm with the 15 and 16-year-old kids. There's another group of 17 and 18-year-olds that were picked up also. And this bus heads to a little town. And it's like a little village in northern Canada. And it has a grocery store and a diner. And all of us just go totally mad, like Lord of the Flies crazy. People are eating double cheeseburgers in the diner and fries. Kids are walking out of the grocery store with bags of food. You think they're feeding a family of 4. There's an 18-year-old is on the bus behind me with a 6-pack of beer, halfway through guzzling it. I look out the window and a kid's throwing up on the sidewalk. And it was an amazing month, but what it left me for was a hunger for nature. And since then, it changed my life because my hunger for nature has led to me doing a lot of hiking, snowboarding, skiing, mountain biking, and it's just that month in the woods changed my life. Thanks.